Welcome to TechbrothersIT. In this video, we are going to learn how to enable a point-in-time recovery for MySQL instance in GCP. And after that, we will create our database, insert some records, and then we will perform a point-in-time recovery for MySQL instance. So let's go ahead and take a look on our demo. First of all, once you log into the console.cloud.google.com, you're going to go to the navigation bar here, and then you're going to go to the SQL. Once you are there, you're going to see this create instance tab right there or button, and right here as well. Let's click on that one, and now we'll go for MySQL. So you have 8.0, 5.7, and 5.6 MySQL versions available. I'm going to go with the instance name. I'm going to call it Tech Brothers Point in Time, PIT. Okay, and then I'm going to provide the password for our root user. Here we have versions. I'm going to go with the 8.0, that's the latest one, and then you can choose the configuration. Is it going to be production or is it going to be development? If you are doing for demo, just go for development, but I'm going to keep this one as production simply because I'm going to just delete this instance after demo. So here you can choose region and zone availability. Here I have US Central, Iowa. I can go ahead and choose maybe South Carolina, that's close to my house. And now what I can do here, I can go with single zone or multi-zone. If I will go with single zone and somehow that zone has outage, then my instance is not going to be available. If I will select multi-zone, and the first zone goes down or outage happen, or maybe I have some memory issues with my instance, then my instance from this second zone will be available for me to work on. So it will become the standby instance will become the primary instance. So that's really great, because if you are in production and you don't want to have a problem if there is any problem in the zone, you want to have an instance available all the time. So this is why we have multi-zone high available. Now that's great. We keep this one as it is, and here you have option. You can choose your primary zone, and you can choose the secondary zone. Now if you don't do that, see, it is asking to choose some different zone because they cannot be in the same zone. So if you don't want to do it, it is by default, it is set to any, and it will select any on the secondary zone as well. So it will select randomly out of these three. Now we will go and take a look on the more configuration. Here we can go to the machine, and I'm going to go with customer. So I'm going to have 2 vCPU and 3.75 GB instead of paying for 4 vCPUs and 26 GB. Now what I'm going to go with the storage, and here we have SSD and we have HDD. So depending what you would like to do and your needs, I will go ahead and select SSD. As I'm not going to create a lot of databases and it is going to be for demo, I'm going to go with the 10 GB. So in your case, you need to consider this one. If you are going to enable a point-in-time recovery, what's going to happen? It's going to save the logs for 7 days by default. So in those cases, you need some space, especially if you are doing a lot of operations. So the logs can be huge. So I will suggest you maybe go with some, maybe some estimated that maybe 1 terabyte or something according to your need, and also leave this enable automatic storage increase. If you don't do that and your storage is full, you're going to have a problem with the instance. Now if you leave this on, that means you can it can become really huge, and you might not know. So you want to learn about that too, because if you enable whenever you are nearing capacity, storage will be increased automatically. So in case let's say you are not thinking like it will use 5 terabyte logs and all that, and you enabled it, and eventually you find out that you use a lot of logs. So maybe you want to study this according to your environment. How many changes are happening to the database, what are the updates, deletes, inserts, and all those kind of things. So you want to study your size. After that, once you enable it, let it run for a day, keep monitoring for a few days, and so it will tell you estimation, or you will see how exactly it is behaving. Now I will go for the next one. It is called the connection. I'm going to leave it public IP, and I'm going to add my network. So I can connect from a laptop. So this is my IP. I'm going to add this IP, and here we will hit done. Now we will go to the data protection, and here you see that these are a few important check marks. They are already enabled. The automatic backups are enabled and the window is selected. Now if I go click on advanced, it is doing multi-region. You can select a single region if you want, and the total number of backups it is keeping for 7 days. So these are automatic backups, so one backup per day. Now if you go further in advanced options, you see right there we have a point in time recovery already enabled. And you see right here you cannot disable these settings because they are required for application and high availability. Okay, so that's important. If you will choose your multi-zone high availability, then you cannot make changes to that. So I'm going to go ahead and select single zone here, and once I do that, still point in time recovery is there, automatic backups there, but I can go back here and I can make changes if I want to. So let's say if I don't want automatic backups, then I can disable, and you see that once I disable automatic backups, so point in time recovery is also not available. So these are prerequisites for point in time recovery. You have to have automatic backups, and then you can go ahead and enable a point in time recovery. And if you notice here, the number of logs days are 7. So you cannot really go beyond that. So let's say you say, oh, I want to do point in recovery for maybe in last 80 days. No, that's not going to happen. The max you can have is 7 days. And here is your backup. So you can have backups probably for whenever the days you want in, but the max is 365. So that's what you can do. You cannot go more than 365 backups. So I'm going to leave this to 7 anyways. That's default. For keep the backups for 7 days, and also the logs for 7 days. You can reduce if you want. I believe you can go for 4 days logs. So point in time recovery is only available for last 4 days. So in case that's makes sense to you, maybe you don't want to keep 7 days logs, and that's too much on the disk, and you're paying money, and you really don't need those 7 days of logs. So in those cases, you can go with the less number of days. As you notice that now I have disabled multi-zone. So in case single zone that is I'm available right now, if that zone goes down, my instance will go down. So that's multi-zone means you are going to have 2 instances, one standby and one primary. So it means if you are paying $100 for your one instance, if you do multi-zone, you are going to pay $200 bill for your SQL Server instances, because it's providing you high availability. So two instances will be available, one in primary and one in secondary zone. Now we can leave that as it is, and now it depends upon your needs. You can choose what's best for you. And you see that we have automatic backups that has to be enabled, and we also have point in time recovery, and we have 7 days of logs that we would like to keep. Now that's pretty much it. Enable deletion protection if you want to do it. If enable, this instance wouldn't be able to delete until this feature is disabled. So I can leave that as it is. Doesn't really matter. Maintenance window, you can define the maintenance window here if you want. You have flags for your MySQL instance. You want to add some specific flag values, you can go ahead and choose one from here, and then you will be able to provide the value here. In my case, I'm going to just leave it as a default. You can provide labels as well. So in the summary, you see that we have multi-zone high availability, and also we have a point in time recovery enabled. So we are all good here. We are going to go ahead to create the instance, and it's going to create our instance. Finally, our instance is ready, and we can go to the navigation menu and click on SQL here, and it's gonna bring us here where we have a list of these instances. In my case, I have only one instance, so that's MySQL. And what we are gonna do here, this is the IP provided. If I click right there, it's gonna show me all the details, and I'm going to copy this IP and connect to the by using HiDSQL. So I will use HiDSQL here. And let's open HiDSQL. You can use Workbench or there other programs to connect them. There are some other connection I made, so I'm gonna just probably create a new connection here, and I'm going to call this one MySQL PT point in time. Okay, so and then I will provide the IP, root user, and password. Yes, so connected. Okay, so we are connected to our instance here, and what I'm going to do here, I'm going to create our database, and I'm going to call that database test. So let's call this test database and create it. And now once the test is created, let's refresh, and we should see test here. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a table. So I'm going to call this test table ID integer name varchar, and then we are going to have insert date time. Okay, date time, and this is going to be date time, and that's it. We created our table, and now we should see this table under the test database. The table name is test itself as well. So now what I can do, I can go ahead and insert the values in this table. So I'm going to say insert into test table values, and I'm going to say 1 and name Amir. And now I can use the now function to get the data. And let's do some more insert statements here. Okay, so we are inserting to record, and here is I'm going to go with my kid's name here, don't remember, Raza. Okay, and here what I'm gonna go with the test 3 record, and let's we don't need this is already created, and we can execute. Now I can select the data here, and let me open a new query, and here you can see the test data there. Okay, so I'm gonna expand that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to wait for a couple of maybe few minutes, and then insert some more records. So you can see right there the time is right now 15:25. That's the time, and what we can do, right now is 11:25 EST time. So but this is our, I believe this is GM, this is probably UTC time or something like that, because now gives us some other time. But I know that we can go back to the point where it's 11:26. So when we want to do the point in time recovery, we will go till 11:25. So let's let the time spend like 2 more minutes, 3 minutes, and I will insert some more records, and we want to recover till this records later. We will insert more records, and I will show you how to recover till this point, where we have ID 3. So a couple of minutes has been passed, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to this query. I'm going to insert some records here, maybe number 4, 5, and 6. And we can just leave, probably this one is fine, test 4, and then maybe leave this as it is. Let's insert some data here. Okay, now we have inserted this data, and I'm gonna go ahead and refresh this data so we can close. I'm going to open a new query tab, and so we can select the data. Okay, instead of yeah, so you see right there, this is the data we have now. So now all of a sudden what happened, this is wrong data somebody has inserted, or maybe they have deleted all the data. And what you have to do in this case, now if somebody has deleted all the data, or inserted bad data, or made an update on this all records, and you know that you need to recover to this point, so maybe think about this scenario: delete from. Okay, so they have deleted everything we your test table. Okay, and you want to, that like you want to revert till this point. Okay, so that's your point of recovery, that's you want to revert. So if I go ahead and say let me maybe copy these records somewhat. Copy, I don't know if I can put it here. Okay, I'll leave this as it is. It's just copy single thing. So if I have deleted everything, so it throw me exception here because I'm trying to run delete without where clause. So I said yes, I want to do that, and it deleted all the record. So we perform all those different actions here. We inserted the records, and then we inserted more records, but we deleted after that. Now our application is saying that, or the developers are saying we need the record till this time, and after that we are fine, So we can go all the way further and even recover the records which were deleted, but they are not interested. They are saying till then the records were fine. After that we don't want those records, and also we don't care about the delete part as well. We just want the data till this point. So that's possible. How you are going to do that? You're going to go back here, and then you will go to the here on the SQL, and now once you are here, then you're going to click right there in the actions, and here you will create a clone. That's what you're going to do. Okay, so one thing we need to understand, the point in time recovery is not going to happen to the existing instance. You have to create a new clone with the point in time recovery, and then maybe run some SQL statements, or create the CSV files and insert the data to this instance. That's your primary instance. So what we have to do, we are going to go ahead and create a clone and recover till point in time where we want. So here it is the clone name is given. You can change if you want, and I'm going to leave this as it is. So see right there, it says clone current state of instance. So if you want to create a clone from your primary instance with the current state of instance, that we don't want to do that, because we want to do point in time recovery. Clone from an earlier point in time. And we can remember that we can go 7 days back, because we have 7 days log. And here is the time it is asking you. So it is asking you, okay, what is EDT, EST time zone time you would like to recover? And if you go back here, that's the time I would like to do, 25 minutes and 19 seconds. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So let's do this. So here I don't want to get those other 3 records I put it later. So I'm gonna go with the 25, and maybe I can go to with the 26, because I remember that we inserted those records later on minute 28. So we are fine if we recover till 11:26 a.m. Okay, so that should be fine, and I'm gonna go ahead and say create clone. Give me 1 second, space. Okay, so it is creating clone, and now once the clone is created and we connect to the clone, it's going to give us a new IP, but it will keep the username and all that, so we will be fine. So once it's created, when we go back and connect with MySQL, we are going to see only 3 records which were inserted before our 11:26 a.m. So we are going to see the data till here. Okay, and if you remember that we inserted 6 records, but we want the data till here only. Okay, so that's what it is going to do. So it's going to get us those records. So our clone is ready, and you can see the IP here, and I'm going to go ahead and copy the IP, and if you click right there, what's going to happen, you're going to see it has pretty much the same setting of what we have for our primary. So there is not a whole lot you can really do here, and simply what we can do, we can just go ahead and connect in MySQL. I'm going to go to file, new session, and then create new, and I'm going to call it a cloned. Okay, from PIT. Okay, point in time recovery, and here I'm gonna provide the IP, and here I'm going to provide the password for root. Okay, yes, and you can see that it has the test database and it has the test table. I'm going to go ahead and open a new query here, and then we are going to select the data from the test table. It should have only 3 records because with the point in time recovery we went that far. So you can see right there it has only 3 records. Even we inserted 3 records after this time, as we did not restore till this point in time. So this is the only record it's going to get. So this is great. So you can always go back and restore your databases to the point where you would like to. But remember here now this is your actual database, right? Now if I execute this query, it's not returning any records because we have deleted the records after that. There was a total 6 records we deleted, and this is our clone that we created at the point in time recovery. Now if you want to take these records and insert here, you have to create the insert statements from here and go take to your primary and insert those records. So your point in time recovery, you are not really doing to the actually primary instance. You are creating the clone by with that point in time recovery logs, and then you can probably do manual work to recover your data or see the data, what happened to your data until that point. So I hope this videos help. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe my channel, and I will see you guys in next video.